Beef Team VM's coming at you with do-it-yourself string art. One of my daughters for 4-H wanted to do this kind of craft. And sometimes on the farm, it's really cool to weld and, to build things like goat feeders and repair tractors and, rebuild an old farmall and stuff like that. That stuff's right up my alley. And to be honest, artwork isn't always up my alley, but you know what? Sometimes you can, get out of your comfort zone and help them. So we took a piece of oak and we sanded it off, and we went to the internet and we found a picture of a paw print and put some dots on it that she liked. And then she basically just took a center punch and very carefully and lightly tapped little tiny holes where the dots are that match up to the picture. It was a little bit of a learning experience on how hard to tap and how to use the drill press and, all the sanding that went into it. But, I think you'll see here as we did it, it turned out pretty good. So this is the picture we printed, and then we put the dots on it, try to equally space them. And then she's tapped them on the board with the center punch. Then over to the drill press. Basically, I'm just going to help kind of guide it here for her. And I set the drill press up so it only drills partway through the board and helps her with the depth each time. So Anna here can get the depth the way she wants at each time. When you do these projects for FFA or 4-H or county fair or open class or, for any of the other groups that are out there, I think it's very valuable that you do it, as a family or at least as a parent with them. Number one, it gives them guidance and helps them through the tough parts, especially when they start getting frustrated. The other thing that it does is, it shows that you care and that you've got some interest in the work they're doing. And I think that says a lot for their development. In this situation, I'm pretty handy with wood, so at least this craft has a wood base to it, so it makes me feel pretty comfortable. She had to sand it quite a bit. I think that was the hardest part for her. I think there was a lot of fatigue in that. But, again, I just kind of coached her through it, and it turned out really well. Once we got done sanding it, I wanted this to be something that'd be a nice gift. So I was really in debate as to whether we stain it first or put the nails in it. I decided that because of the fact that we might screw it up in the process of putting the nails in, we decided to put the nails in first. That way I could maybe fix anything that occurred with the stain after the fact. I had to get her to set the nails at the same height. So what she has in her hands is a taken apart clothespin. And she's using the two little lines on the back of the clothespin to hold the nail, and then she's tapping it down to the level of the top of the clothespin. That seemed to work really well. I made sure that they were level, and she made sure they were straight. If there's a crooked one, we just kind of tapped it into place. Because it's oak and we drilled the holes a little bit small, they all went in really tight, so thankfully we didn't have to do any gluing to keep the nails in. Once the nails were all in, then I decided to let her stain it up. I figured at that point we're good to go, and that was the case. Now, Anna Jane has done a lot of staining in the house, so this was a part of it that she felt really comfortable with. And it was fun to just kind of turn her loose and stand back with the camera and watch her go to work. It's neat when your kids are really learning and figuring it out. Once we got one of the coats of stain on, we did several. I had her put the hangers on the back side of it so it couldn't be hung. Obviously, if we give this as a gift, we'd appreciate it if the person would put it up somewhere. Might only be on their refrigerator. Maybe it'll be in the back. I don't know where it'll be, but if they could get it put up somewhere, that would be great. So here it is. It's got the hangers on it. It needs a little bit more stain and some varnish, but we'll get there. So we're done now with the wood. I'm going to kind of skip over some of that, finish part with the wood just because it's going to make the video way too long. So what she did is she tied a knot to the nail, and then she started her string art. And her idea was to make it 3D. She was going to do multiple layers. She's going to use basically kind of the same pattern, which is where she, loops from one to the other and then back and then moves to the next one. But again, she's going to do it like in 3 different levels. She kind of had this worked out in her mind. It took a little bit of time on the first, you want to call it paw, to get it right. And then it was just basically a repeat process on all the others. I tried to take video as she's kind of going through it. It's a little hard to show when she starts really getting going here because she gets, pretty fast at it. Each time she completes one, we tie it off, and then I'll show you at the end, but we just dab it with a tiny bit of super glue to hold it tight. The heart in the center, she wanted to do a little differently. The camera's just giving me glare issues here, but it turned out really nice. She just wanted that to kind of stand out, and she put a white border around it because she doesn't want to do 2 layers on the heart. The big paw was a little bit difficult for us to get around the heart, but we did it anyways and just kind of let the string bend around the heart as it went around. And it turned out really cool. It kind of gave it like a black border, to which her white rail then really stands out. As you can see here, she's made great progress. She has one of the paws completely done. She's got it now with a black, a red, and then a gray, and then on the bottom here she's just doing black and gray on the big part because the center is red. It's coming together really good for Anna. I'm really liking how this looks. She has to do a little bit of math just to make sure she gets this gray in right. The gray is only going to be kind of on the 3, I would call them rounded edges of the bottom of the paw. I think that'll work out really well for her. Just takes a little bit of math to get the string right, but once she got going again, it went pretty fast. I would say she was able to string this in about 3 nights, taking her time and making sure that each area looks the exact same. Once we had this part done, then it was just a matter of duplicating those other 3 paws up at the top and getting those pads of the paws to all look exactly the same. At this point, it's really kind of fun to watch it all come together. Again, not always the most artsy guy myself, but certainly willing to help. So here it is now with the layers of red across them all, and you can see that one pad up there of the paw is completely done. The bottom one is already completely done. So now it's just a matter of finishing the gray. And as you can see here, I'll see if I can get around her fingers and just kind of zoom in. Now when you have 3 layers on there, she certainly ran into being a little bit more tricky to get the string around the top of the nail, just because the nails are getting more full of string. But if you take your time, she's still able to get it done, and it turned out really nice. Now, you can certainly buy these as kits, folks, and do a kit one with your kid. But she kind of wanted to do this one, from scratch. Again, because it's going to the county fair as a 4-H project, and also because of the fact that, she wants to give it away as a gift. And I think a lot of times gifts are more special. Right here, I'm just gluing down that little knot. I did that for all her knots just to make sure they would stay and this artwork piece would stay nice and tight. So here it is. Here's the finished product, folks. It's in a nice red oak stain on a piece of oak done by my daughter Anna. It's a very nice paw print. It's in 3D layers with black, red, and gray with a red heart in the center. She's got nice wall hanging hooks on the back side. Hope she does well with it for fair, and it'll make a wonderful Christmas gift for one of her relatives. If you get the chance to do a project with your kid, especially on the farm during the cold winter months, I'd highly recommend it, folks. Thanks for watching.